أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي جعل رمضان رحمة لأمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير البرية سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. I begin in the name of Allah, Azza wa Jalla, the most beneficent, the most merciful. After having sought refuge in Him from the accursed shaitan, all praises and adorations are due to Him, Allah Azza wa Jalla, who has made Ramadan, who has given the Ummah of Muhammad Sallallahu Ramadan as a kind of rahmah unto them. We ask Him to bless the minister of the best of mankind, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim taslima. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear sisters in Islam, the month of Ramadan is fast approaching. In a couple of days, inshallah ta'ala, we shall be observing the Ramadan fast. Such, it becomes necessary to examine our roles as a Muslim wife during the month of Ramadan. What are the roles we are supposed to discharge, to perform during the month of Ramadan as a wife? Begin with whatever role we want to perform, whatever duties we think we should discharge must align with the goal of Ramadan, which Allah Azza wa Jalla states clearly in Quran 2 verse 183. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Allah says, O you believe, fasting has been prescribed unto you just as it was prescribed to those who brought before you, that you may attain piety, that you may attain righteousness. That goes without saying that the goal of Ramadan itself is to ensure that every Muslim attains piety and righteousness. So as a Muslim wife, understanding our roles, the month of Ramadan could be viewed from this perspective too, that whatever role we want to discharge, whatever duties we are discharging in the month of Ramadan, we must do them with the intention of attaining with piety, with the intention of becoming a more righteous person, with the intention of earning Allah's pleasure, Azza wa Jalla. Therefore, Ramadan is not just a month of fasting. It is a journey and a soul transforming experience. The same way it is for the men, it is also meant to be the same for the women folk too. The month of Ramadan is not a time we will spend trying out different dishes, want to cook this or that. It's not a time for merrymaking, because it is a journey of spiritual transformation. And whatever roles we are discharging should be patterned in this direction too. And if that is the case, it begins with our intention. As we approach the month of Ramadan, as you approach the month of Ramadan, dear Muslim wife, bear it in mind that you are about to set out on a journey of spiritual transformation. That even while discharging your roles as a Muslim, you must not take your spiritual experience with levity. So how do we balance this? You should also bear in mind that this is not a period to start wishing you were not a woman, to start wishing Allah created you a man, because this is not allowed in Islam. Allah says in Surah Al-Nisa, Quran 4, verse 32, precisely, لَبَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ لِلرِّجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا اكْتَسَبُوا وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا اكْتَسَبْنَ. And wish not for things in which Allah has made some of you excel over others. For men, there is reward for what they have earned, just like for women, there is reward for what they have earned too. And Allah is ever knowing, ever knower of everything. Allah is all knower of everything. Allah knows everything. So do not regret the fact that you were created a woman. Rather, see it as a special favor from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Because being a woman comes with a lot of favors from Allah Azza wa Jalla. We must bear that in mind. Looking at the sababul nuzul of this verse, we're told that one of the companions of the Prophet went to meet Rasulullah, that is Salama, the wife of Muhammad, went to meet him because of the Islamic injunction on inheritance, where a female is fair to take half of what a man earns. And he went to ask him some question on this, because some women were also wishing that they were men so that they could partake in war and of course have access to more things and get more reward from Allah. And Allah revealed this verse to caution them, to tell them that they should not wish to do what they were not created to do. So the same thing applies to you, all Muslim wives. Do not desire to be a wife. Stop regretting the fact that, oh, I wish I were a man, so that I'll have time to do this, to do that. But celebrate the woman that you are. Celebrate the wife that you have, because this comes with a lot of favor from Allah Azza wa Jalla too. So what are your roles as a Muslim wife during this glorious month of Ramadan? All those roles we used to perform before Ramadan still remain even during the month of Ramadan. But we must bear in mind that, as we know, the month of Ramadan is a month where we are expected to embark on a spiritual journey, where we are expected to increase our acts of ibadah, to pray more, to do sadaqah, to, of course, fast like any other person who happens to be a Muslim. And in addition to that, is to take care of the family, to guard the flock that Allah has kept in your care. So your first role to yourself is to guard your soul. Ensure that your spirituality does not dwindle all in the name of trying to take care of the house and do all this. One must not affect the other. And at the same time, you must not neglect your duty as a wife just because you want to recite the Quran. Many times you want to perform nawafil and do all these things. Let them go priority too. Remember that when Fatima bint Rasulullah went to Prophet to go and complain, to go and tell him what she was experiencing, he advised her and he asked her to return to her husband's house, and of course he gave her what she should be doing. That whenever she retired to bed, she should chant Subhanallah 33 times, Alhamdulillah 33 times, and Allah Akbar 34 times. And he went happily doing this. And Allah gave her a sort of relief. The same thing applies to you, my guess. How many of us still do that? Still do just sinner. That is why we keep getting overwhelmed. There's nothing new under the sun. There is nothing we want to do now that the forebearers of faith did not do. They also fasted during their own time. They took care of their home. They took care of their children during their own time. And of course, they were able to earn the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So, we have in those people an example that we could follow. How do we balance all those things? How do we ensure that one does not affect the other? How do we attain piety through acts of ibadah? How do we manage the home like the homemaker that Allah has made us as our child? The first thing we should bear in mind is that of being organized. That is our first weapon as a Muslim wife. You must plan your time. Try to stay organized. Plan how you are going to do all these things such that one would not affect the other. Having said that, and of course we know that it requires more from us. And that's why Allah is going to grant us more reward. That's why we should celebrate the woman that we are. And your time. Stay organized. Even before you embark on the journey at all, you have one thing you should do. Ask Allah, your creator, your maker, who has saddled you with that responsibility to make it easy for you. Beg him sincerely. The month of Ramadan is a month of istijaba. Allah listens, He grants, He gives. Ask Him to make it easy for you. Tell Him what you want. And you want to attain spiritual felicity. You want to be able to discharge your role as a wife while ensuring the two do not affect each other. So that's the first one. Remember, we mentioned the issue of sincerity of purpose, which is the beginning. We must be sincere in all we do. Have that intention that you are going to do this even as an act of brother. Everything you are going to be doing, even serving your household, cooking for your family, taking care of children, have the intention that you are doing all these things to please Allah Azza wa Jalla, who has saddled you with that responsibility of doing all these things, and you'd never regret it. So, another thing we should bear in mind, like we might want to ask, how do we now do all this? I keep reiterating that is plan yourself, plan your time, stay organized, then seek help where you think you need one. For instance, if you think at a point in time you're becoming overwhelmed with all those things, cry unto Allah, complain to Allah. Remember the story of Allah who cried unto Allah, who complained to Allah, and Allah had his cry. Allah had a cry, a complaint from the seventh heaven, and Allah revealed what to tell me and what to be because of her. So do the same thing in your own situation. If you think you are becoming overwhelmed, cry unto Allah, speak with it, tell Allah what you want. Then you approach your partner, seek help. Do not hesitate to tell him where you want him to assist you, as politely as you can. I'm sure our spouses too will be willing to support us too on this spiritual journey. Having said that, remember that the children Allah has given you constitute your own flock, and kullukum ra'i wa kullukum mas'ul an ra'iyati. You are all shepherds, and you should be questioned concerning your flock. It is your role to monitor their ibadah, just like the father does. You support the fathers in monitoring their ibadah, ensuring they wake up to time to, ensuring they perform their own nawafil to, ensure you monitor how they do their tilawah to, encourage them when they are tired, when they feel like when they are almost giving up, you encourage them as a mother, just as the father does the same thing. You support your husband in this regard too. That is another role that Allah has placed upon us. Remember what Allah says in the Quran, brother of them, what you will believe, protect your soul, it's your soul and the soul of your household from hellfire. So it is your duty, as you're trying to strive for your soul to attain piety and righteousness, to protect the soul of your children, to your household too, to ensure they also sow the path of righteousness too, by encouraging them, motivating them as much as you can. This is indeed another role that Allah has placed upon you as a Muslim wife. Then the area of house management or housekeeping, ensure you feed them on that which will help them, which will make them healthy and strong enough to continue with Ramadan. Do not feed your family on junk just because you want to engage in acts of ibadah. Plan your time. You do not need to be wealthy or to break bank before you cook a healthy meal. It all depends on how resourceful you are. Plan all these things too as you approach the month of Ramadan, and be deliberate, be intentional about how you do all these things. So that is another role you hold your family as a Muslim wife during the month of Ramadan. Remember that you also hold your neighbor, your community too, and roles too. Remember that there's supposed to be a shining light in the neighborhood to your neighbors, to fellow Muslims, even non-Muslims alike. This is where the issue of charity, sadaqah, comes in. Rasulullah was reported to have said, sadaqah to Ramadan, that the best of charity is charity that is done in Ramadan. This shows the place of charity, sadaqah, as another role that needs to be discharged. Because either you are a male or you're a female, whatever you do is not go in vain. You'll be rewarded equally as far as it's an act of ibadah. So as your spouse is struggling to do his own, to do charity and do all those things, also struggle to do that within the means available to you. You do not need to break the bank before you do this. It doesn't have to be material things all the time. No matter how overwhelmed you think you may be, sadaqah, or even ordinary smiling at people, it is sadaqah in its own. Let us try to wear this positive mood throughout the entire month while praying to Allah to make it easy for us. And importantly, when the last 10 days of Ramadan approach, remember that you also hold yourself that duty to ensure that you maximize that to the benefits that are inherent in it. Do not say because you want to quickly want to do that, you end up not standing up to do that. You overwork yourself so much that you become so tired and you're unable to seek the night of Qadr, night of majesty. Remember the importance of this night. Because there are various Quranic verses to this effect. Surah Al-Qadr, we all know what Allah says about that. It is a night that is better than 1,000 months. In Surah Al-Bukan, Allah talks about it. About that was you see, yufraku amrin hakim. That should be the 4th or 5th verse. It is a new night that all decisions are made. So where do you want to be when Allah is taking decisions about your life, about your future? So you hold yourself that role to ensure that when the last 10 days of Ramadan approach, you will strategize, you will organize, you will plan what you're doing and how you're going to be managing your family so that as much as you are able to, you maximize the benefits that are inherent in those last 10 days of Ramadan. Overall, bear in mind that you're the homekeeper, Rabbat al-Bayt, who takes care of yourself, to nurture your soul, to take care of your family, your husband, your children inclusive, while ensuring that you do all these things sincerely, lillahi al-rasuli, and while striking a balance such that one does not suffer at the expense of the other. And this is where being justly balanced comes in. May Allah Azza wa Jalla grant us tawfiq. May Allah make the message better understood that it has been presented. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.